Hi everyone, welcome to My Opinions Are Trash. Today I will be ranking the characters from the 2003 version of Fullmetal Alchemist. Before I get started, I would like to say that this is strictly based on the 2003 version and I will make a separate video for Brotherhood. Also, this is just based on my personal opinions and thoughts, and if you haven't already seen this, then there are major spoilers ahead. Number 37. You all probably saw this coming, but Shao Tucker is definitely the worst for obvious reasons. He is a piece of shit, and for that alone, he deserves his own spot at the bottom. 36. Seriously, does anyone like this guy? He mostly just comes off as an irritating bootlicking asshole. Honestly, one of my least favorite parts of this series. Number 35. Father Cornello. This guy just gets on my nerves. He kind of reminds me of Donald Trump and his followers, and that's kind of irritating. 34. I'm probably going to get some hate for this, but I didn't like this version of Hohenheim. Now, this is not counting Brotherhood because I liked him, but in this version of the series, he did not contribute much to the show at all despite all he was hyped up to be. He was supposed to be stronger than anyone else, yet we didn't really see that. Also, he came off as a total hypocrite whenever he confronted Dante when he was doing the exact same thing. And he was a terrible father to both Edward and Alphonse, a terrible husband to Trisha, and literally the first thing he does is he starts hitting on Lieutenant Ross after not being around for years. So, yeah, I didn't like him. 33. I don't know, but I kind of found Rose to be kind of annoying. All she ever really did was cry, complain, and all she really did was stand there while everyone around her got hurt. I did kind of feel sorry for her though, but I don't know. I didn't really like her character very much. 32. Kimbley. I don't know. He was a psychopath. He didn't really do anything except blow things up and attempt to murder Alphonse. Yeah, I didn't like him. 31. The first time I ever watched the series, I hated him. He was a whiny little brat who mostly just caused trouble for some of my other favorite characters, and he got on my nerves. After rewatching, this is still true, but now I honestly just feel sorry for him, and I don't really hate him near as much as the others I listed before. Now, aside from those just listed, I honestly don't really hate any of these characters so much as I like some of the others more. So, with that in mind, here's number 30. Literally any of the filler characters that didn't contribute much to the series aside from being a minor inconvenience to the brothers for one episode before we never saw them again. I'm not going to waste my time going through and placing them on the tier, so just know that most of them belong on C or D. 29. Barry the Chopper. He was kind of a filler character, but at least he was funny, especially when he came back. 28. He didn't really do much in the series compared to everyone else, and he often gets overshadowed by Lieutenant Ross. He was funny when we did see him, though. 27. King Bradley, also known as Pride. I liked him enough as a villain, but I also feel like his character was weak compared to the others. He did have a pretty kick-ass fight with Mustang, though. 26. Gracia Hughes. She's like your average sweet loving wife. I like her enough, she's just not as big of a part of the show. 25. So, I also feel like I'm going to get a lot of hate for this one, but I honestly didn't like Winry as much as some of the others. Sure, she's funny enough in the scene she's in, but her whining kind of becomes a little too much for me sometimes. 24. I may be the only one who thinks this, but I honestly found Gluttony to be adorable. All he really does is eat people and not much else. However, his reaction to the death of Lust literally broke my heart. 23. I found them to be funny, and most of the scenes they were in I liked, as they mostly served as comic relief, but that's just about all they were. They didn't really serve any other purpose. 22. Trisha Elrick. We don't really see much of her since she's dead through most of the series, but from all the flashbacks we see of her, you can tell she's a good mom, and you honestly can't help feeling sorry for her, especially after you see Sloth's backstory. 21. Havoc mostly served as comic relief. That's about it. He was funny, though, especially when he got shot down by Armstrong's sister. 20. Sheska's adorable, and there are so many situations where you can see her being helpful to the other people around her. 19. He wasn't in very many scenes, but whenever you did see him, you can tell he's genuinely helpful, especially when you see what he did for Mustang. 18. Probably the most tragic character in the series, as you see how adorable and wholesome she is, only to see what her father does to her. It's a heartbreaking moment, and it's honestly what got me into the show. 17. Sig Curtis. Throughout the time you see him, he is nothing but loving and supportive of his wife. He's there for her whenever she needs him, but also knows when to step back and let her handle things. They have one of the healthiest relationships I've seen in anime. 16. What can I say? She's a badass. Plus she helped Alphonse a lot. I like her. 15. Panako Rockbell took on raising all 3 children on her own after they all lost their parents. Also, you could see she was kind of a badass when she was younger. 14. I like him. In the couple episodes he's in, he's a really cool character. He saw through Dante's bullshit, took his own route, and then took in all the chimeras that were otherwise rejected. Also, he helped Edward, and he never once tried to paint himself as the good guy. I liked him. 13. This bitch. I can see why other people don't like her, but I honestly can't help it. I found her to be interesting as a villain, and it's nice to see that the one who controls everything is just a self-absorbed human trying to cheat her way out of her own death. 12. I love him. His scenes always make me laugh. 11. When we see him, he seems like any other psychopath, but he actually got a lot more character development in this series than a lot of other characters did. Also, he was interesting to watch, especially in his last few episodes. 10. He is mostly seen as a doting father and is used a lot of the times for comedic purposes, but there's a lot more to his character. He is so genuine and loving towards everyone he interacts with, and he even serves as a father figure sometimes to Ed Allen Winry. Also loved his friendship with Mustang, and he just seems like that one guy who seems to hold everything together, and you know that no matter what, he is there to reassure you that everything is going to be okay. 9. Lieutenant Ross. Every scene she's in, she's trying to help the brothers, and the amount of love she has for them is very sweet. She has literally risked her life for them so many times, from Lab 5 to her going out of her way to see them after they were declared criminals, and when she saved Izumi because of the fact that she knows she's important to them. She acts on her own free will and morals, and I love the relationship she had with them. 8. Risa Hawkeye. She's one of the most badass characters in the series, and you know she would do anything to protect the one she loved, especially Mustang. 7. You ever have those characters who you want to protect at all costs? Yeah. He's kind to everyone in the series regardless of what they've done to him. He tries to understand everyone's point of view, which makes a nice contrast to his brother. He will literally do anything he can to help, especially when it comes to Ed. He would literally sacrifice his body just to get Edward his limbs back. We all wanted a brother like him, and he must be protected. 6. How could I not put him here? He's a total badass, completely selfless, and would do anything to help the people as he sees fit, regardless of whether or not he just met them. You can see that throughout the series, but one of the most important people to him is his brother, and the amount of love he has for him is powerful. You can see that he would do anything for him no matter what, and it's painful to see everything the two boys went through, but especially the amount of regret Edward has when it comes to his brother losing his body. 5. Roy Mustang. He's one of my favorites as he comes off as a total asshole, but you can tell that he genuinely cares about everyone, and that he has so many regrets despite putting up a false persona of being a hard ass. He's my favorite character in the military, and you're rooting for him to succeed the entire time. 4. Angry Palm Tree. I love Envy. He's a total asshole, but I love him. I found him to be one of the most interesting characters, and I really can't help loving him. I know other people don't, but How can you not? 3. She's everything I love in a character. She's a badass, she cares about everyone around her. She has made some mistakes in her past, but she uses it to help others. Her relationship with the Elrick brothers is very sweet, as they needed a mother, and she needed a child. Despite her tough persona, she cares about them very deeply and would literally die for them. 2. My opinions on Brotherhood Lust are very different from the 2003 one, but this one is one of my favorites. You see her, and you can tell from the beginning that she's up to no good, but as the series progresses, you can see that there's so much more to her. She wants to become a human, but she's unsure as to who she is and what she wants. She's the only homunculus we see transition from strictly obeying orders to figuring out the truth and deciding to take her own route after thinking for herself. She has a lot more layers to a character than anyone else, really, and it's really sad because you can just tell she's doomed from the start. Number 1. This may be a surprise for many people, but I can't help but love the 2003 Sloth. I have such an unexplained soft spot for her, but a big part of that is she is truly the most complicated character in the show. With characters like Lust and Scar, they kind of serve more as anti-heroes, but Sloth is a pure villain who I can't help feel sorry for. In the episode with her backstory, you can see that she is in constant agony over the memories of who she once was. Rather than trying to become who she was created from, she resents the idea and wants to become her own person. She is constantly tortured from having Trisha's memories, and she wants to kill the brothers as a result. She wants to prove that she is her own person and not Trisha, and is hoping to gain that by killing the two boys who she admitted that if she was around for too long, she could end up loving. Also, she is easily manipulated by Dante in comparison to the others, which is another reason why I feel sorry for her. Her character provides a new perspective on the homunculi without her having the same redemption as Lust. While Ed and Al are trying to kill her, she is there to remind them that she is justified in hating them, as they were the ones who created her in the first place. Not to mention, she is kind of a badass, and as a bonus, she suffocated Tucker for a little bit, as we all wanted to do. Say what you want, but I absolutely love this character, as she was my favorite in all of anime history. Well, there you have it. My Brotherhood rankings will come out shortly, and I promise for better quality videos in the future. Make sure you subscribe to my channel.